Hi, this is Nikki Buckelew with the Seniors Real Estate Institute, and we're back today with the big five essential strategies for serving seniors. And today's video is on number 4, understanding the complexities of moves involving older adults. We all know that moving isn't easy, right? It's complex in and of itself. And you couple that with the sale or purchase of a home, and you add to the complexities, and you couple that with the possibility of an estate sale. Maybe someone is downsizing significantly. Maybe they're moving across the country due to health reasons, or maybe they've owned their home for 40 or 50 years. There are a lot of things that can go into a move, especially as people age. So today we're going to be talking about some of those important considerations for you as an agent to be looking out for as you're serving seniors. So let's start out with the fact that when people move, there are 2 types of moves that they make, you and I, as well as seniors themselves. One of the types of moves is physical, right? We have to pack things up. We have to put them in a truck, or have someone put them in a truck, hopefully, and move them to our new location, unpack them, reorganize them, and all of the things that go into that. If someone is selling a home, there are physical things that have to happen. Maybe repairs have to be made, or maybe additional things that need to be done in order to get that home sold. So there are a lot of things that are physical about any move, but there's also an emotional aspect to moving. You've moved before. You know what that's like, to have to find a new place to get your hair cut, a new grocery store, dry cleaners. You add doctors and pharmacies and all of the things that go into finding your way around a new community. We moved several times in our adult life, and one of the most emotionally draining things for me is trying to find my way around. It can be exhausting. Now, think about someone who's lived in their area or their home for 40 or 50 years. Trying to learn about a new community and learn all the things that they need to know to get around. It can be very emotionally taxing. Plus, a lot of times they're making a move not necessarily because they want to, but because they need to. So there are a lot of things that can be happening for someone as they're making a move, both physically and emotionally. It's important to be aware of all of those. So let's talk about some of the considerations more specifically. Let's talk physical for a second. Most of us that are healthy, we can do a lot of things when it comes to getting prepared for a move. I know for us, I pack. My husband helps me put together boxes. He helps me move boxes, but I'm the one that physically packs the boxes. I like them done a certain way. Well, when people have arthritis in their hands, or maybe they have a bad back, or they've had hip surgery, all of those things that we kind of take for granted as healthy people become very difficult to do. Even getting something down out of a closet or a cabinet or a lower drawer can be very challenging for someone. So you add to that someone who maybe has had an illness or some sort of a surgery. Frailty in and of itself is hard, but you add to that some sort of a surgery or a physical illness, and it makes it that much more difficult. Mental health is another consideration to think about as you're working with seniors. Most seniors do fine. They don't have mental health challenges. That's kind of a myth that's out there, is that as people age, they're going to have mental health issues. Well, that's just not true. It's just as likely for a young person to have mental health issues as it is for someone older. But there are those people who have mental health issues, just like in any age group. So let's talk about those a little bit. One could be depression, chemical or otherwise. You also have people who do have some memory impairment. Anxiety is something. Now think about anxiety. Anxiety can sometimes look like other types of illnesses. So be aware of major anxiety that may be happening as a person's downsizing or moving. What about cognitive decline? Something related to a stroke possibly, or something related to medications that they're taking may cause them to have a little bit of a cognitive decline. Keep in mind that anytime someone has a mental health issue, it could be a potentially legal issue as well. If they're unable to make good decisions on their own, it's important to be aware and to make sure that they have legal representation or someone trusted that can help them with those choices. Aside from mental health, there's also the issue of emotional health. It's not an illness, but it happens to all of us from time to time. So loneliness, possibly grief, maybe they've lost a loved one or a pet. Maybe there's some fear. Anything like that can create a little bit of an emotional challenge. Just the emotional roller coaster of moving can definitely create an issue for any of us. And then there's the legal side of a lot of clients who are aging, and that is that some of them may have a trust, some of them may or may not have the ability to sign for their own trust. They're going to have things like durable power of attorney and specific powers of attorney. They may have probate issues related to the loss of a spouse. So there are just things to be considering when it comes to the legal nature of the transaction itself. Having all the paperwork in place sure does make it a lot easier for everyone, including the client, so be sure and ask those questions. There are some things about downsizing specifically that are considerations when working with seniors, and downsizing is sometimes a blessing for our older clients, and sometimes it is painful. It just depends on the emotional attachment to the things that they own. If someone happens to be a hoarder and has an extreme emotional attachment to things, it can be very much a challenge to help them downsize. It could also be that they have some things that they would like to take with them that just won't fit. And so sometimes you have to do take some creative measures to help them with that downsizing process. Then there is family. And anytime there's family involved, you've got multiple people with multiple ideas and personalities, and emotions run high sometimes. So keep in mind that the family may include advisors such as spouses or life partners, adult children or siblings, and you're going to want to include them in the conversation if that's what the client wants. So just be prepared for that. Finances. One of the biggest fears that some of our older adult clients has is outliving their money. And so it's important for them to know, how much am I going to net from the sale of this home, and how much is it going to cost me to invest in the next one? And really knowing what those numbers are can sometimes put them at peace for helping them with that decision. And if they don't really know if their money's going to go as long as they need for it to, make a recommendation for a financial advisor. Don't be the one who tries to do that for them. It's really outside of our scope. What about a new environment? Anytime I mentioned before, someone has to find new things, it can be emotionally exhausting. So consider helping them with that. Consider having a list of those things and where they're located, so that can help someone with that kind of emotional stress that goes on after a move. And technology is our last one. Technology can sometimes be a blessing, and sometimes it can be a curse for all of us. I know that. So technology is something that many seniors are embracing. There's also some of our seniors, however, who may not have access to technology, such as document signing, the ability to do document signing online. I take it for granted, even my dad, who is what I would consider a younger senior, he has a scanner, but he doesn't know how to use it. He has email, but he doesn't know how to use it, and he doesn't really want to. So should I expect him to? No. I'm going to work with him based on what he would like his transaction to look like. So just be aware that many seniors are using technology just like you and I, and some are not. So everyone's different. Just find out what their request would be. Keep in mind, there are so many things that we think of that are challenges for our seniors as they're moving. But the reality is this. Most older adult clients will report that they are really glad that they made the move, especially a downsizing move. Now, they may not do it the day of the move, but about 3 months later or so, they're going to say, I wish I'd have done this years ago. So keep in mind that even the stress of the move, sometimes they just need a chance to adapt, and then they're really excited that they did it. Let me tell you a quick story before we finish up. I don't know her name. Her name is Mary's mom to me. But a client of mine named Mary, her mother decided to sell her home and move into a senior community. And when she did, the family was actually very concerned. They thought maybe she was preparing for the worst because, well, she hadn't been feeling very good. Well, after she moved, about 6 months later, her brother, Mary's brother, texted her this picture of their mother visiting his home in Florida and riding a bicycle. Mary's mother is in her early 80s. She hadn't been feeling well. She hadn't been really doing very good physically. She moved to her senior community, independent living, and within 6 months, she was riding a bicycle, felt great, and had a whole new lease on life. So many times, even though during the time of the move, it may not feel great to the client or even the family, oftentimes when that person embraces all of the things that come with senior living, they actually feel really great about it afterwards. So I'm excited for this family, and I know that's something that you're going to experience as you work with senior clients as well. If you'd like to learn more about becoming a specialist and creating a niche in the senior housing market, you can look us up online at theseniorsrealestateinstitute.com or check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/seniorsrealestateinstitute. We would love to enroll you in a Success in Seniors Real Estate course if you're new to the seniors real estate business, or if you're an experienced agent who's been working with seniors for a while, you'll want to join the Senior Housing Professionals Mastermind for experienced agents. Either way, we would love to have you hook up and become a part of our community. So the big 5, today we covered number 4, understanding complexities of moving involving older adults. And then our first 3 videos were be aware of your local demographics, recognize motivations for late in life moves, familiarize yourself with senior housing options, and then our next video and our final video will be leverage professional services to assist senior clients. Those are the 5 essential strategies for serving seniors. We look forward to seeing you back here very soon. Have a great day.